Super Cool Radio.
Hello everyone, I am Matthew Thomas. This is Super Cool Radio. Welcome back to another great interview. I'm here at a super secret location. I had to sign an NDA and say I can not say where I am, but this is PTF headquarters. I got some really great guests making their third appearance as a full band here on Super Cool Radio. Please welcome Praise the Fallen. Nice to have you guys back on. It's been about a year since our last interview. I know you guys have been working very hard. We got a lot of cool stuff to cover, including a new member as well. But before we get to all that, I will introduce everybody real quick. We got Jamie on vocals and guitar, Andy on guitar, Randy on bass, and Kenny on drums. And I'm going to start this interview off with a little bit of a new question I have for this season. So obviously you guys got a little bit of extensive discography to the Praise the Fallen name. If you had to show one song by Praise the Fallen to someone who has not listened to Praise the Fallen before, which one would you pick?
I would say Changes.
I would probably also say Changes.
I too would say Changes.
I'd probably say Emotions in Gear. Yep.
It's a good
My
one.
brother's favorite song. It was the first song I ever recorded with the band. It means a lot to me personally. Maybe that was a selfish answer.
No, not at all.
No, I can't, nothing's a selfish answer here. But, well, I really like Degenerate Types. That's my favorite song by you guys.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you.
because I like what Kenny said, because it's very raw and very gritty in the last interview. It's very raw, it's very gritty, a little bit of a GNR feel to it as well.
We thought that same thing when we wrote Degenerate
You
Types.
said that in the interview, so very good. All right, well, that was a quick question out of the way, but that does move on to a little bit more important news. So Randy is the new member, the new bass player for Praise the Fallen. So Randy, how did what led to you joining PTF?
Well, I had previously been in another band, a cover band with Kenny, and
What was the name of that band?
Plain Strange.
What covers did you do?
It ran the gamut from Beatles to
We had it wide.
Sublime. Just whatever we thought sounded cool to cover, we would do it. No strict genre to adhere to. And when the previous bassist left Praise the Fallen, I think I was one of the first phone calls that Kenny made, because he felt like I would be a good fit, and so far everybody agrees.
So far?
So far.
Well, I'm glad so far everything is working out well. But what drew you, other than relationship to Kenny, what drew you to being a part of Praise the Fallen?
Well, listening to the songs also, some of the first songs that I had heard was Changes, Fallen, and Emotions in Gear. And hearing those songs right away, I knew that this was something that I would love to be a part of. They're all great songs. I sincerely mean that. I listen to our own music often.
That's good.
Just to listen to it, because I think all the songs are really great. So, just being a part of something that you believe in, it's easy to want it, just like being a salesman, it's easy to sell a product you believe in. So good songs, that's what it's about.
When we were looking and talking internally about to find a member to handle the low end, we auditioned a couple of really good players and met some cool people. There's a lot of good musicians out there if you're willing to look. But there's a lot of things you look for, and Randy just kind of hit the ground running, and he is a different style of player. He primarily has a pick in his hand, and that is a different sounding instrument versus playing it without a pick in your hand. And at least me personally, the style of our music, our influences, I dig the sound of that punchier, and I knew it would bring something. I knew it was like bringing another, something to the mix. And I'm very thankful that Randy was interested and that it worked out. Anyway.
No, that was very good. I appreciate it, and that was very, very nicely said as well.
Randy's great.
Would you like to add anything to that, Jamie?
Randy's great. No, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. And what I look for outside of just the music part is that we can hang out. Yeah. We're not uncomfortable around him or anything like that. We've had people where they've hung out and like, I don't know if it fits with us personally. That matters. So Randy's a good hang too.
All very nice qualities. But overall, like, how has Randy kind of changed the dynamic of the band?
Just right off the bat, it's like every time we get together for rehearsal, Randy's like, "Hey, I got this new thing I was working on." You know what I mean? So there's a lot of contribution from like, "Hey, I was working on this. What do you guys think?" There's a big collaborative aspect to it, but also Randy is bringing ideas to the table, which develop into things, or they have a place in another song or whatever. So that's awesome to have. In addition to obviously having the chops to play.
Oh, for sure. Randy, a question for you. What was the first PTF song you learned fully?
Probably Ask Me If I Care.
That's funny. We haven't even played that one yet.
Yeah, we haven't played
Good thing you learned it.
Well, you guys are going to have to bust it out at some point then.
Well, I don't know why we don't play it. It's a great song.
I think we played it at my first gig at Cheers.
We did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, so you guys have covered that. That's good. But now, since we are doing a little bit of live show talk here, I did want to talk about you guys have a really great show coming up on March 10th at the Hobart Art Theater, and you guys are opening for Tantric. So what can people expect from a 2023 version of Praise the Fallen Live?
I can tell you right now, we're tighter. We're tighter, and we're tighter. Yeah, I hate to say it, but we're tighter with Randy. The band's sounding a lot tighter. The first time we did Keep Your Distance with Randy, it was just tight, man, and that's what we needed. Exactly what we needed. And Randy's working on his vocals too. We're going to be getting backup vocals going in the shows too. But right now we're focused on the music. We're writing new music. We're going back and rehabbing some old songs. We're getting ready to go in the studio and redo some stuff that we feel strongly about. We always knew that we had some good songs with older players that I had, that I always thought, okay, these songs, if they were redone, they might really explode PTF, because the songs are strong, but the production wasn't up to date, basically. So we decided we're going to go in the studio and redo that stuff. But as far as seeing us this time around, oh yeah, we're a lot tighter. That's really all I can say, really.
I think I'm going to add to that. I think one thing I've noticed is we've shifted the focus of the band a little bit, or the primary energy on songcraft and recording. And we just had someone here earlier today talking about the next couple of music videos, kind of focusing some energy and effort and time on that, and maybe a little bit less on, at least for the last couple of months, and it might be true for the next couple, 2-3 months as we finish up these other projects, less focus on shows. And we're trying to be a little smarter about only getting involved in those shows that we know are a good opportunity to showcase our band. And, the Hobart Theater playing with Tantric is definitely one of them. So one of the results of that is when you play a little bit less, when we do finally get in front of people, we're coming with like a lot of pent up energy and vigor, and yeah. And that's been kind of a side benefit of that process, I think.
Yeah. So the Hobart Theater has always been great to us. I love that venue. Tantric is going to be a super fun band to play with. And, as far as 2023 goes, I mean, we got a lot of things planned. A lot up our sleeves. We also got the show, right after St. Patty's Day, March 18th at Cheers. So, hometown show. It'll be a party. Yeah, they're doing a lot of expansion and renovations at Cheers. Actually, I think they're closed for renovations until March 16th. And
yeah, they are. Yeah,
I mean, Cheers shows are always fun for us because it's kind of our hometown venue, and it's like a great place where like we're not like, oh, like we have to play this, and this. Like we can goof around a little bit, test some new ideas, like test out some new material and stuff, and kind of see how it goes and what it's like in a live setting. So it's a lot of fun to play there too.
Yeah, every time I see you guys cheers is always a fun time. I know Randy, you like walking around the whole bar on and all of that. It's so you never know. I never know where you're gonna go, and maybe you don't know where you're gonna go. I don't know.
Yeah, we've had some crazy experiences at Cheers too.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
We'll
that
keep
we
it
can't
in.
really talk about
We'll
on
keep
record.
the X-rated stuff off here.
Maybe
but-
5 years later we could talk about
All
it.
right, but no. Also, I want to say that as far as the writing, though, Andy's doing some writing. We got Randy bringing stuff to the table. You know, when Andy first joined us, I was doing a lot of the writing, and Andy was just doing what I wanted him to do. Now Andy's writing, and this band's functioning like a band should, and everybody's collaborating together, and that's what's going to make PTF even stronger. So, yeah.
Even wrote a song because Kenny started playing that dance beat. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Just put that
Yeah.
together and he started playing that beat.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I wrote a song.
We have a dance song.
I wrote a dance beat. What can you do with this?
Yeah, it's called a really cool dance song.
Yeah, that song's called Silver Tongue. That'll probably be in our next EP. What we want to do is bring out, like I said, this Rehab CD. We might call it Overhaul. I don't know what we're going to call it.
I like overall.
Well, okay, we might call it that
I'm just a podcast.
because the songs did need an overhaul. You know, that's how I look at it. But then we're going to go right back in and we're going to do another 5 brand new songs. You know, so we just love writing and recording. We're focused on media presence and building that up. The numbers right now on Spotify are doing phenomenal. We couldn't believe we had 1,100 monthly listeners on Spotify, and Changes was the song that was blowing us up. Got us on some playlists and stuff like that. Bands should really focus on that as much as doing shows too. The internet is a stage these days as well.
It definitely is, and kind of I don't know if I've talked about this on record or anything, but like, I don't know if there's really any like considered like local music scene. There's like just with the internet, it's like everything's a music scene now.
Definitely. I think bands should also focus on doing interviews and getting their music on other internet radio stations and even if FM radio stations. Like, yeah, like what you're doing, it helps us, you know, it helps bands like us, you know. Venues are, you know, struggling a little bit after the pandemic, you know, as far as taking a chance on an original band. It seemed to be easier to take a chance on a cover band because it's an instant audience, you know, and also a lot of tribute bands are coming out. So for a band like us, it's like we're playing when we can, but in between when we play when we can, we're doing all this other stuff like the media presence, working on new songs, and that's what bands should be focusing on, in my opinion.
No,
I just wanted to say that.
no, for sure. I mean, there's the internet is extremely beneficial with everything. Obviously, there's some pitfalls with that, and there's, you know, all of that. But as a whole, like the internet and media presence does very much matter because then you expand. You know, you're not just from the South Bend area. Then, you know, obviously you're playing in Hobart.
Right.
You guys played in Michigan, so it's all about expanding the area you guys cover.
Our goal is to be a regional band, not just a local band, you know, and then possibly go from a regional to a Midwest band, you know, as far as we can take it. I would like to see us get on some rock festivals and stuff. We were very close last year getting on Upheaval. So we didn't get on it this year, but
I think I already think of us as a regional band, Jamie.
Right.
I mean, because most of the shows we play, we're driving several hours
Right.
in some direction, and honestly, that's part of the adventure.
well, it's been a while. We haven't played in Illinois. We haven't
Yeah.
played in Wisconsin or Kentucky.
Well,
I'd
we
like
also
to
haven't been
branch
pushing
out and
hard either.
play those places.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I've been sending venues emails.
But-
I'm going to be calling them next.
But the lack of a ton of you know, decent sized showcases or venues for original music, especially the style that we play that has to have a big space in order to contain it, frankly, it makes you have to be cool with, you know, driving a couple hours here or there. And and it's always a blast. It's fun to play in a town I haven't been to before.
Since we are talking about like the venues and playing venues, I know obviously you guys really like the Hobart Art Theater, as we've covered in the last few interviews. What are some of your favorite places outside of South Bend to play?
Ooh. Hobart's always a blast. Hobart is probably my favorite venue to play at. Their sound system's phenomenal. Their crew, their like stage hands, their people, their staff, they're fantastic. They kind of treat you like, hey, look, you're the entertainment here. You guys have a job to do. We want to make that as easy as possible for you to accomplish that job, right? The Eclectic Room has also been great in Angola. Cheers, Cheers is our hometown hang. That's a fun place to play.
The Rockstar Lounge in
Yeah.
Wayne was a fun place to play.
that was a cool play.
Oh, that's not. I mean,
it closed already.
Pierre's.
Pierre's.
I was just in Kendallville, driving through Kendallville, Indiana last night, and the place that we played there right before COVID. Remember?
Yeah.
That place isn't there
We
anymore.
were all drinking Coronas.
Yeah.
Dude, what was that? What was the bar that we played at in Warsaw with the split stage?
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, that was fun.
That was a fun place.
Rex's Rendezvous. Yeah, it's like
Well, and sometimes the funnest venue isn't necessarily the biggest
No.
either, because that Duffy's place out in
dude, it's like it's a lot of
was a good time.
the bigger venues are super fun and it's like awesome because like you plug your stuff in and it's loud and the stage. You're honest, but it's like kind of fun playing in some of the smaller venues. It's a little bit more rowdy and you can kind of like you're like I kind of do whatever not do whatever I want, but like
You can, there's
explore the space.
there's more leeway.
Brower House is another place that we want to play.
Oh, Lombard, yeah.
Yeah. Lombard. So
Brower House, you're out there. I've emailed you.
Brower House, get at us.
The Vixen, in Janesville, Wisconsin, the Back Bar. I want to get in there. I'd like to get in the Forge in Joliet. I've been talking to a guy that owns Livewire in Chicago, in the city, right downtown on Milwaukee Avenue. He's trying to find us a spot there. So there are places that you're going to be seeing us. Trust me, they're coming.
Good. Go on.
But you got to be relentless, because they forget you, because they're getting bombarded with emails, I'm sure. All these venues are. So you got to keep your name fresh in their heads. So
Definitely. I know since obviously so many have closed down, as we talk about like Rockstar Lounge. I really enjoyed that
place
place.
was awesome.
It
yeah.
was so cool.
Shout out to Alan Helms. He was doing he was giving the band's VIP treatment and everything, and green room, hooking us up the way bands used to be treated. Bands do a lot of the work. They do a lot of the work these days, the promoting and getting people to come, and venues need to step it up and also help with the bands and work as a team to build that show, and don't just rely on the band. And I think there would be a bigger audience.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome when you go to a venue and like even if you're not the headliner or like the main act or the national band or whatever, it's at some level like you're still there to provide a service. So that the reciprocation of that, it's like really it goes a long way.
I do want to give a shout out to Steve, the owner of Cheers. He's rehabbing Cheers, but not just that. Genius. He's actually promoting the bands on a billboard right there by the 933 Toll Road Notre Dame exit, right there.
I saw that one. Yeah.
That is awesome. That's the way venues should be promoting bands, and not just relying on Facebook. Let the city know, hey, we are here. It's so funny when I see people that have never seen us before. They come, where are you from? Right here in your backyard. They're like, you guys are from South Bend? Yeah. They don't even know it. There's so many people that aren't even on the internet, that stuff like Steve's doing, like with the billboard, that gets people that aren't on the internet to come see our band like us.
Well, yeah, and like just like with the billboard, the physical copies, like the show flyers, back when people used to do that. Billboard is just a more updated version of that.
Yes, I'll be hanging some posters up Kenny gave me too. We have to go old school too, because like I said, you can't just rely on event pages and Facebook. You got to get out there and pound the pavement, man.
With Facebook in particular, I remember when you never met somebody that wasn't on Facebook. And I now, most of the people I meet either aren't or they were, but a couple years ago they stopped. So that is a lot of people you're not going to reach unless you find other ways to spread the word.
Social media, it has a lot of benefits, but there's even just the environment on there is not super conducive sometimes, as we know. Like some pages, like you don't even see. Even if you like the page, you don't even get to see it.
Yeah.
Exactly, and or just the toxic people on there for drive people away as well. I won't go in. Oh, that's a whole other topic.
What did we do before social media? We went out and we pounded the pavement. We made.
Pound it.
I remember going to Kinko's and making my own flyers, cutting out magazine pictures, and making my own flyers for my band shows. Literally putting pieces of flyers together and printing them off and putting them on people's cars and stuff. It's gonna come back to that
That's littering.
because Facebook ain't gonna work no more for bands. So bands, you need to get out there and bust your ass and pound the pavement.
Pound
Get
it.
out there and do it, man.
Pound it. You get a T-shirt cannon.
It's gonna come back to that. It is.
And just stand on the side of the road and shoot our T-shirts through people's windows.
That might the police might frown upon that. But the last thing I want to, on this topic, and I do want to move on. It is starting to come back to that. It's like I know I had someone ask me like, why aren't you just focusing completely on my online presence? Like, well, I am for part of it, but also the part is people have to meet me in person.
Yeah.
I have to go to shows. I have to talk to people. I have to meet people. And that's also how you grow. You can't just rely completely online.
Physical media.
Yes.
Like, it's nice to meet and see another person.
It's nice to actually engage with someone you see online.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I see your show, but now it's actually nice to actually get to meet you.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, it's also why my hats and shirts, by the way, you can buy those too as well. But it's all of that as well. Did want to wrap up just one more thing I want to talk about for the live show aspect, then we'll move on to the EP, even though you guys have already dropped some hints about that. For all of you guys, what is your favorite song to perform live?
Ooh. So like, I like Keep Your Distance is a hard song to play live, but I love playing it live for one reason. Like Jamie puts the guitar down and gets to really interact with the crowd and kind of explore the space and like really be a dedicated frontman and singer. I like it because it's heavy as shit.
Jamie gets very intense during that song. Like, no lie, he is intense.
But it's an intense song. That one's fun because it's heavy as shit, but like also Changes, Scream. I like Heartache. It's fun too. Like some of the simple ones, like some of the ones that are a little bit more simple are a lot of fun. Yeah, because I don't have to focus so much on playing and what I'm doing, and more of like what is the space doing in the crowd and what's the interaction like. So probably those.
I don't know. Like we've had certain situations, like when we played at Headwaters Park, when we played the Puddle of Mud show, we got a big reaction with Scream. Scream's a good one, but Changes too. Changes is one of my favorites. I'm really proud of that song, especially since just within the last couple months, it's got 5,000 plays just out of the blue. We've always had a good feeling about that song. Even though Kenny didn't play drums on it and Andy didn't, the version that's out now, we're going to be redoing it and we're going to be making it better. But yeah, I don't know. I like playing all our songs, but I guess Scream, Changes, and Heartache are some of my favorite. Yeah, anything that makes people move, we like it too. We feed off them. You know what I mean? If it makes them move, it makes us happy, and I guess that's my explanation for that, really. We like playing all of our songs, really, but the ones that really make people move and interact with us, I would say Scream is one of our biggest ones.
Well, I haven't played a lot of shows with the guys yet, but we always open with Emotions and Gear, and that's a kick-ass song. And really, I'm looking forward to playing some of the established songs that we haven't played live with me, like Keep Your Distance, and then some of the new songs that we're writing right now that I think the crowd's really going to enjoy.
Yeah, we got some new shit.
I don't really have a favorite. There's a lot of songs, even songs that existed before I was in the band that we play. The songs we're re-recording now that Jamie keeps saying we're going to make them better. What he's referring to is the previous recorded versions,
Right?
Because all we're really recording now is the way we've been playing them on stage for the last 4 years.
Right.
So we already kind of did that, and we've had enough people giving us that feedback, like, "Hey, why does that song sound so different?" Oh, well, that's because of this and that. And so that's kind of why it's almost like a housekeeping thing. But anyway, I don't really have, there's so many songs that have a lot of drums and a lot of cool parts where I definitely set the tone and things like that. It's hard for me to pick a favorite. I don't think I have one for playing live.
That was a very well worded answer. That was very good. But it also shows just how strong the PTF discography is. You know that there's, you know, you guys haven't put out any like, oh, that's just okay songs. You know.
Thank you.
You know, there's songs that they're all very good. They're very diverse as well. Sometimes you got a little bit more softer side. Some of you like Keep Your Distance. Very metal sounding. So I think that helps as well. It's not just the same cookie cutter song every time. But with the live show aspect, this kind of leads into the we're talking about the EP, which you guys have already kind of talked about, at least for the first one, Overhaul, Rehab, whatever you want to call it. How'd you come up with like the 5 songs that you will be re-recording? How is the process for picking those, and what are you looking to update with that? And actually, sorry, last thing to go on top of that, what are you looking to update with that? And how has, like, you know, since it's been so many years, how has that kind of changed the song as well?
How did we pick them?
Yes.
What are the? No,
What are the
I want
upgrades?
you to hold it for me. Hold it for me. Yeah. So the questions were what? How do we pick them?
Yes. How did you determine?
What are we going to update?
Yeah, what are you updating, and how is like kind of the songs changed from when they were first recorded up until present day? So sorry, that is a very loaded question. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, I could probably speak for the whole band here. I mean, how did we pick them was crowd reactions and the songs that we felt were the strongest, kind of both based on crowd reactions and a component of like which songs we liked the most, you know? The next question was, what are we planning to update? So that's like everything really, production in terms of the sounds of the instruments, like kind of at that engineering level, also sort of the dynamics. I mean, we have 3 different players. 75% of this band is new, so they play differently, and we want to incorporate that with sort of an updated version of our strongest songs.
In 2016, when I first started, I wasn't the guitar player that I am now.
Yeah,
And
so,
I think it's helped that I have my own studio at home, and I can hone in my own skills and make these songs better.
for sure.
And I mean, like with Blame, I came up with some ideas that we just were trying before you got here.
Yeah.
And if I didn't have that at home and wasn't working on the songs more than I did before, you know,
You're
I don't
practicing
know, like
all the time.
Before, yeah, I'm playing all the time. Whereas before, I would get together when we had rehearsal, and I would just keep it simple because I had to sing.
Yeah.
But now I'm getting comfortable to where I can do a little more
melodies
intricate and melody stuff that I didn't do before, and that's going back through the library material and going, okay, you know, I came up with this for this, you know, and that's kind of how it started. It's like, man, what if we eventually just redid all of them?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Who knows?
A big thing too, and this is not a knock on any of the previous members, but you know, there are certain kind of things that don't quite, they're not the way that we would like them to be, and they're not a good reflection of how the band is now.
Right.
So that's you know, from, you know, the way the drums are, guitar fills, you know, guitar leads, whatever, you know, bass lines, all that. We want to update it and give people
those songs were with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
This is all new guys, but we're still playing those songs. Also, you know, they also, you know, they're a part of these songs. So
For sure.
They should have their names on those songs.
yeah, this is not to
This is-
discredit or erase anything that anybody in the band
Not
has
at all.
ever done
But
before.
this has been the lineup for what, 4 or 5 years now? You know, Randy's new, but we don't see Randy going anywhere.
Was there another part of that question?
How's the songs kind of changed?
Oh, geez. Well, the first thing is we probably play them all faster. Which, well, that's probably my
Comes
fault.
with caffeine and Andy.
Yeah, but no. So, I mean, from my standpoint as a guitar player, the leads are different. There are a couple of the solos from, I don't know, the previous like 20 songs before I joined the band that I play the way they are. I really like them. I don't see a reason to change them. Most of the other ones, I play the guitar solos and leads more my style. You know, from a drumming standpoint, I'll let Kenny speak here, but they're more thunderous, you know, drums. You can talk about what you want to change with those, Kenny.
Well, my favorite drummer of all time is Ringo Starr because he plays the song and I don't, so my focus at all, working on especially those songs that I hold with such high reverence and I have such respect for where they came from. I want to do what the song demands, no more, no less. So if I had to sum it up in like a succinct description, I would say the comparison between the two, or the difference between the two, that even the non-trained ear will hear, is a lot more straightforward, a lot more direct. Speaking in drummer language, you know exactly what my intentions are when you hear the first couple of measures of each of the songs.
I got something to say. I was just thinking about this. Different bands use different producers, right? You got Andy Wallace, he's works with Linkin Park or whatever. And you got Brendan O'Brien, who's worked with Stone Temple Pilots. People don't know, but a lot of it, producers give a band its sound, and when I wrote some of these songs in 2016, like we're redoing Blame, that's one of them off the 2016 album. We did Making It Known in 2017. We used a different producer. Basically, I had a different vision for these songs. As more when I heard, like, just an example, I would like the production of Breaking Benjamin or 3 Days Grace or something like that. And I was like, how can I get that production with our band? Well, you have to find a producer that can give you that. And I just want to give a shout out to Brandon from Autumn Academy. I think he's right up there with modern production. And I think that is what PTF needed on some of these songs. Different producers can produce a band. If you have somebody who was a producer through the years in the 90s to early 2000s, you're going to have that sound. You have somebody who's out now, you're going to have that sound. You know what I mean? And I think that's what PTF needs. We are this band now. We need that sound now. We don't want to sound like an 80s band or a 90s band. We want to sound like Praise the Fallen 2023.
That's a very good way of wording it. And Brandon's an awesome dude. I've interviewed him with Autumn Academy, really great band.
Yeah.
And he's working extremely hard. As a producer, he is incredible.
Oh, I want to give a shout out to Wayne Russell. That's also this last EP. If you people have not checked out the Degenerate Types EP, several promoters, several people in the industry have heard it, and they said, "Wow, PTF really stepped up their production from their last EP to this." I personally have heard promoters tell me this. They're like, "Wow, have you heard the Degenerate Types EP? It's completely different." And that is the production. It's the same musicians. We all played on Emotions and Gear. Randy didn't, but we are the same people, but you have a producer that gives you that sound, that fresh sound. Wayne did that for us. And once we saw that, we're like, oh, wow, we got to keep this going,
Wayne, extremely, he's a really great producer, very knowledgeable too. He's very cool. Obviously, he's part of another great band. I'm not sure exactly. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one. But no, he's in. He's part of Bostel. He's in.
He does have two other bands.
Yeah, same.
Radioactive Avalon and I can't remember. We always talking about it too. It's like an acoustic thing. Country style.
Okay.
He always talks about it too. I forgot, but
no, he's very diverse, very creative with everything. Obviously, we've interviewed him as part of Bostel, like probably 6 months ago at this point.
Yeah.
So no, really cool dude. But I'm definitely looking forward to, because I honestly I very much enjoy the Degenerate Types EP because it sounds very full. Like you can hear everything.
Yes.
That sounds It's got more teeth to it, I would think. It's got more of a bite to it.
It's that modern production, that thickness that you hear now.
Yes.
So
that's why you can really see you guys evolving, especially very quickly too, like with your sound and how you're producing it, the shows you're performing, all of that, and then you're writing, more music faster and releasing more of it. So I'm definitely looking forward to. I know you were talking about you have 2 EPs possibly that you're at least recording this year, and whenever you guys get to releasing those.
There's going to be some shredding going on too with Andy, and I miss just being a front man, so I'm okay with Andy writing some stuff, and I'm just going to sing too. So once we get some songs structured, I'm just going to write some lyrics and sing to that and step off guitar for a little bit too.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to all of you guys. Got a lot of cool things going on with the music and obviously with everything else, but definitely look forward to hearing new music plus the rehabbed songs as well. To see. I'm curious to see how they are, but I definitely looking forward to all of that. So I do have a fun question. Unless anything else you guys want to add about the EP? Okay.
Randy, what do you got to say, man? You're all quiet over there.
Well, no, not really. I can only bring my own flavor to these songs that are established. I have a lot of respect for the previous bass player. I think he was very talented. So the only thing I'm changing is adding my sound, which is a little bit different, and it'll be me. And I'll be glad to put my stamp on that product.
Very well said. You guys have very, very well worded with everything. But I do got a fun question, and then we're going to be wrapping up this interview soon. What has been the favorite concert you performed at, and your favorite concert you've attended?
Favorite concert I've attended. Me and my now fiance went to an EDM concert for New Year's. It was a lot of fun. Bass Nectar. Yeah.
Bass Nectar.
Yeah. But also, like, I saw Lamb of God at Red Rocks, and that was kind of a bucket list item for me. Favorite concert we've played. Geez, Rock on the River. When we played
Headwaters Park.
Headwaters Park, yeah, that was a ton of fun. I mean, maybe the one that we did, John 5. Yeah, even though that was my first show with that was my first show with the band, second show with the band. Yeah, because the first one was Czars. But yeah, that was just awesome, and I was so unprepared and not ready, and improvising solos and probably playing out of key. But it was just kick ass. Plus, like, I got to hang out with John 5, so
Yeah.
that was very memorable for me.
Yeah, the new guitarist for Motley Crue.
Right. Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
We won't get into that either.
John 5 is cool, but he's really lucky all these years that John 6 hasn't come out. you know?
7.
Right. You just
Wait, where's John 4?
that's the thing. They never tell you that.
And
luckily
there's no John 5.5.
Yeah. My favorite show of all time that I've attended was definitely
Alice in Chains.
a few years ago when I took my dad to see Rush on his birthday.
Oh wow.
And given that we've since then lost Neil, I couldn't be more thankful that I got to see Rush and I got to see a Neil Peart drum solo in person.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
There were a couple other firsts that night that I'm not going to repeat in public, between me and my old man and stuff, and we got to hang out together as grown men, you know what I mean, like with your dad.
Yeah, no.
And it was a lot of fun. That definitely has to be my favorite show that I've ever attended. Performance wise, probably the first summer I was in the band in Evanston, Illinois at Custer Fair,
That was fun.
playing
Oh.
on the street at Custer
That was
Fair.
fun.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun. I just really enjoyed that trip. I enjoyed the people we got to
A
meet.
lot of people.
That was a lot of fun.
For Praise the Fallen, it was pretty awesome. The Puddle of Mud show was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You know what was funny about that show is I had just got over pneumonia. And we pulled that show out our ass, my God. But the response we got from that crowd, we owned that place that night.
Yeah.
We did. That was a phenomenal show. Concerts I've been at, probably my most memorable one would probably be Open Air. When I went to Open Air and I saw all those bands.
What year?
I got to see Ozzy, man.
What year?
What the year? Rob Zombie, Kiss, Ozzy, Lamb of God.
2012.
Hell yeah.
It sounds like it.
No. No.
Was it earlier?
I think it was 2017.
Oh, later. Okay.
Ozzy was a headliner. I got to see Ozzy Osbourne. He was fucking amazing. Zach Wilde was amazing.
I ran into him in Roswell, New Mexico, outside the Alien.
Ozzy Osbourne?
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
In Roswell?
That's
Yeah.
crazy,
Oh,
dude.
I was in Roswell, New Mexico, and like
I've heard about that
Yeah,
venue.
me and my buddy. It wasn't at a venue.
Whoa.
He was outside the Alien Fanatics place.
Was he
Like-
peeing on something?
No, and I was walking across the street, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "That's Ozzy Osbourne." I was like, "Ozzy," and he was like, "Ugh."
You didn't get his autograph?
I didn't bother him. There were a bunch of people around him.
I bet.
Heads off alien.
No. I'll tell you what, man. Yeah, I think that was 2017. But yeah, I got to see Kiss. I was more impressed with Ozzy. Stone Sour was on it. Slayer was on it. Man, yeah. Steel Panther. They were awesome. But I got to see all those bands. Megadeth, Rob Zombie. All those bands were on that open air show. It was amazing. That was probably that. I would say that was my best concert I went to because I got to see all those bands. You know,
Favorite concerts, just like these guys, I've been to 100 shows at least. My answers would probably be more surprising. Probably somebody like Tom Petty or Depeche Mode. But I've seen Slayer and Megadeth and all those bands too, and they're all amazing. I mean, everybody
Yeah.
gives you something a little bit different. As far as favorite shows played, my first show with these guys at Cheers, we rocked the house. We played with some other very excellent bands, and everybody kind of we all brought it. Every single band brought it, and
what show was that?
that was Cheers in October.
Was that
Played with.
Osabox?
Yeah.
That was with Superbike.
Oh, okay.
It was at the first Michiana Invasion.
Yeah.
Okay, I was there. Yeah.
Yeah, that was with Osabox and Superbox. Okay.
With a previous band called Black Dog, when I lived in Dallas, Texas, we played at Texas Motor Speedway. So that was a pretty big show for us there. And that was a lot of fun. So, yeah, that's my answer.
I like it. All really great answers and very, very cool concerts, and obviously really great performances as well. Michiana Invasion, that was a really cool show. It was awesome. Glad I was a part of it as well. So it was really great seeing all of you guys. So can't believe that was like 6 months ago already too. But as I'm wrapping up this interview, so obviously you guys got a lot of cool stuff coming up for this year. Obviously you got a lot of new music that you guys are working on.
We will
music
show you.
videos.
Stick around.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, the music videos and a lot of great things plus great shows as well. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what you guys have for the rest of this year because it's barely into 2023. And you better keep an eye on Praise the Fallen as well. Links for everything Praise the Fallen related will be in the description of this podcast as well. But it is always a great time hanging out with you guys.
Awesome. We love you, Matt.
Yeah. Thank you.
Of course. And of course, for Praise the Fallen of Jamie, Andy, Randy, and Kenny, I'm your host as always, Matthew Thomas. Thank you so much for watching and listening to Super Cool Radio. And remember, stay frosty.